Hello everyone and good afternoon.
Hello.
My name is Tanisha Ford and today I would like to talk to you all about why I think students should not be paid for their grades. Many people in the school community, particularly students, parents, and teachers, they all have different opinions about whether or not they think that students should not be paid for their grades or why they should be paid for their grades. If you happen to be part of this debate or belief about whether students should or should not be paid for their grades, then take my reasons why I think they should not be paid into consideration. Before I begin, I would like to ask you all a question. What type of student do y'all think y'all are? Y'all don't have to answer if you're not comfortable. Like on A to F scale?
I think I'm a B scale.
What about you, Marcus and Kayla and Zay and Lakeisha?
I think I'm in the A-B scale. That's what my transcript looks like. Except for a little,
I'm definitely in the B scale.
Yeah, B.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, do y'all think if y'all got paid for y'all's grades, would y'all like work harder to
Definitely.
get the
Oh,
grades?
yeah.
Would you do it for the money or for like your actual learning?
The
Definitely,
money.
definitely the money.
Just the money?
Just the
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm a student myself, and I believe that students should not be paid for their grades. And, my reasoning behind this is because, like, in primary, elementary, middle, high school, even in my college classes, I feel like I did pretty good without being paid for my grades. Like, I pretty much made all A's and B's. And besides that, I also worked, so I also had, like, an extra task on my plate, unlike some students. And there are many pros and cons to why I think that students there are many pros and cons to why I think students should not be paid for their grades, and being paid is an incentive which can reflect on their desire for learning, self-motivation, and their ability to handle life. To begin, I would like to explain how paying a student is only an incentive that shifts their desire to learn. For those who don't know, incentives are things that help a person, that motivates a person to do something. Sort of like when you're racing or something and your friend cheers you on to get to the finish line. But in this case, it's with money, according to, according to Parent Toolkit, they call it dangling a carrot, which is like an idiom that means that you just have something in front of like somebody to like make them do something. And if you continue to like give a student cash for what they do, then maybe they'll grow tired of getting that same old amount and they'll probably just want more. And unless you're made out of money, this could become a problem. And also, just trying to get the grade or just get the money for them grade, it could lead to cheating, which affects their desire to learn. Think of a situation where you're totally stuck on a lesson. And let's say that you probably get like $35 for every A you made and like $20 for every B. If you're like really stuck, if you're stuck on a subject like math, for instance, don't you think that you would deserve to get more than $35 if it's like extra hard
Yes.
versus like reading if you're really good at that?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Alright. And another way is the long-term effect. Hold on, my bad. Oh, snap, I don't have lost.
I do want to share that when I take math classes, it's very confusing, and sometimes I don't know what the teachers be talking about. And in my brain, it kind of makes me, to want to go and look on photo math or something to take the easy route out. But I know that I should just try and learn. But since you got to either make an A or an F, so sometimes you just.
I agree.
Yeah, and then this could also affect how they play their role in college. Like, a student's job is basically to go to work, right? Well, their work is school, right?
Mm-hmm.
In college, what if they decide to do the same thing and they don't try their best in college because they're not paid? Because, some college kids, they have to survive on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So it could affect them in college. And I also think it affects their self-motivation. And I want to bring up an example by Warnick where he said that he did an experiment with two groups of kids where one of them, they had to play with the pen. The other group had to play with the pen also. But one of the groups, they were paid to play with the pen. So it was like actually working. But he found out that the students who just played with the pen for fun, they actually enjoyed it. And then the students who had to pay to play with the pen, they didn't have fun with it at all. So he was like, play had been turned into work, which can also relate to students trying to learn because maybe if they get paid, they'll get bored with it. So that can will mess up with their self-motivation. And then my last reason was students being paid for their grades can also affect how they handle their life because, if you're given something all your life, you're probably going to be expected to always have like a handout in life as you get older, right?
Right.
No.
Yes.
Why do you disagree?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say how, you know, you shouldn't always expect a handout in life because, I mean, God forbid, but anything can happen to, like, how your money comes into your life, what happens to your parents. A big financial burden could happen, anything.
That's
So you shouldn't just depend on somebody trying to give you money. So the self-motivation comes in where I think a student should actually put forth effort in school and not just, like, cheat or just expect money for what they get.
right.
I agree with you because I am spoiled rotten. I'm
I
so
am as
spoiled.
well.
I did not know how to use a credit card when I had to use my mom's credit card because they always give me cash. So I was like, "Excuse me, cash register lady, do you know how to use these?" And then she's like, "You just it was the one where you had to insert it instead of sliding." And I was trying to slide it. But, like, I did not feel self-motivated in all my years of life when I was old enough to learn how to swipe a card. I just thought I would never have to swipe a card. But apparently, I had to swipe a card.
See, can't expect everything handed out to you. You have to work for everything that you want, in my opinion. And Dr. Nicole Cross, a psychotherapist who had an interview on KVU News, she also agreed with me when she said that students should not be paid for their grades. And she said that it can affect their ability to handle life as well, as I just said. Hold on.
I know because I was at school and somebody tried to pay me to take their test and to do their paper. And I was like, you know, you need to learn how to do your own paper because teachers always know how each student writes. And everyone doesn't speak the same. And I don't want to get in trouble for, you know, cheating and breaking undercodes because I'm writing someone else's paper. So they need to be self-motivated enough to do their paper, to turn it in on time, and to make the grade that they deserve.
I agree. I've been in that situation. But with all this being said, I think that there's plenty of research that tells why students should not be paid for their grade. Even if it does work for a little while, I think it still has long-term effects, like when they grow up and have to live on their own. So that's the conclusion of my presentation. Do any of y'all have questions?
Yes, I have some questions. I just want to know, like, have you ever witnessed this and around your peers and stuff, like they
Getting paid for grades?
Yeah, getting paid for grades and not being self-motivated.
I have, but I feel like they're motivated just because they want to hurry up and graduate high school with good grades. But I know somebody who does get paid for their grades.
So do you think that you would work harder if you got paid?
I feel like I already work hard for my money, so I don't really think I would. But I probably should if I did.
I don't think I would either because I don't like work.
Mm-hmm.
And even if somebody pay me, I'm the type of person, you can pay me to do some work or do something, but I'm not going to do it just because I don't want to do it per se.
Mm-hmm.
But other people, that's like money, like.
Yeah, some people do anything for money. And then me personally, I'm a procrastinator, so I do stuff when I feel like it. Even though I get it done on time, I do it like when I feel like it. So
I procrastinate a lot too, and I tried to stop procrastinating this year because procrastination is not good.
it's not.
And like you said, with self-motivation, I don't get self-motivated to do my work, so I just wait till the last minute, and then it always works out. But it may not work out another time.
Yeah.
Because sometimes,
shut down.
yeah, because one time I had to turn something in at 11:55, and you know what? I was turning in at 11:54, and when 11:55 came, the submission box was not even up there, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, am I gonna get a 0?" And then college professors, they think, "Well, you should have been turning in." So, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, what if I lost?
So what if there's like a program to get paid for grades? Like, how would you feel about that?
I feel like, well, just as I said, it can affect like their desire to learn. Like maybe a student who feels like they have to just work hard just for money. Some of them, it may work for some, it may not work for some others.
I feel like it'd be more of a job since you're getting paid. So,
Yeah.
like the research you do, like say you get hired for a company or something like a college, or like if you get paid for that, for working and for learning stuff, you won't really like accept learning. You'll accept getting paid.
That's what Dr. Barber was saying.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's inefficient.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree. Does anyone else have a question?
No, I think you did very well.
I think you did very well too. Like, this is a topic that no one is expected to talk about. I never heard a speech like this. I think you were very creative with choosing this topic, and it was very informative, and it persuades me to, don't let nobody pay you to do your work.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm
Get
glad
on
that
your
I
own.
got
I feel like
You
it's
just
kind of
wanna
like
do it.
it's kind of like how
yourself.
athletes in the college getting paid for playing the sport. Like say,
They feel like they have to.
right.
And many people they'll get like a scholarship because they're good at like basketball and football. Half the time they don't even want to play.
But I think that's a situation where you should get paid.
Yeah. But I think it should always be done like out of heart, out of your own motivation. Any more? Well, I'm glad I got to somebody. Thank you
you.
for listening.
You're welcome.